from Stamping Bees, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I would really like to share with you a card I made using this stamp set. I think this has been the stamp set that I have used the most out of the Holiday Catalogue. I just love it. It has so many options, fantastic for creating wonderful backgrounds. You can watercolor, so many things you can do with it. So I made this card recently and have been asked a few times how to recreate it. So I thought I would share it with you. So let's flip over and get started. So yes, as I said, the Snowfront stamp set, which is like a sister or a brother to the Waterfront stamp set. And I have made quite a few cards with this gorgeous stamp set. And this is the one that I'll be going through with you today. So basically it's like the deer in a glen. We're looking through the forest and looking at those gorgeous deer with a mountain in the background. Very easy to recreate. So I thought I would share that with you today, and it can be a masculine or a feminine card. It really is sort of gender neutral. Obviously it has been brought out for the holiday, for Christmas, etc., but I have used it here for a birthday. So for what you will need is the grey granite. So this is a piece of grey granite, and it is 24 centimetres by 10.7 centimetres. And then you have some Blackberry Bliss. This is 10.3 by 11.5. I have already run this through with the subtle embossing folder through the Big Shot. So I've already done that in preparation. Fantastic folder. This just adds texture to any piece of paper. It just adds that extra bit of element, which is just when you need something more, and it's just very subtle. Absolutely love it. And as I said, that's 10.3 by 11.5. Then we have two black pieces. So there's a bit of layering in the card. This is the larger piece, 9.7 by 10 centimetres. And this is the smaller piece, 8.6 by 9 centimetres. And then we have a white piece for the inside of the card. That's 8.7 by 8.3. And this is the Merry Merlot as well, another matte, 9.4 by 9.1. So as you can see, there's a few different mattings on here, a few layers. But I just think it really adds to it. Every now and again, it's quite good to add all those sort of layers. Excuse me. Okay, so we will start off, and I haven't measured this. This is the piece, the square that we're going to be working with. And let me just grab those measurements for you. Probably just seen my neck or something on that. So that's 8.2 by 8.5. Oh, that was loud clang. So let's get started. As I say, it is very straightforward. I have started off with the mountain, and I don't want the mountain to go across on this side of the card. So I'm just going to mask that bit off, just that little peak there. So I'm just using some of this matte finish removable tape. Really great when you can mask things off, but it's even better when you remember to take it off. I have forgotten sometimes and ended up with a big splodge on my project from the tape. So always good to remember to take it off. So I want this very subtle. So I am going to stamp it off a couple of times. Now I have got a foam mat under here because these are the photopolymer stamps without the padding with the stamp, so we need to add some padding to get a nice crisp stamp, a nice crisp image. Okay, so let me just make sure I've got this around the right way. Just going to stamp that off, 1, 2, and so I just want that in the middle. And then I do want this one just to finish off over here to give it a bit of a more of a mountain look. So we will come back to our pad. Now I'm going to mask off the top. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of ink still left on there in the background. Tape off. 1, 2, 3 this time. So we're just going to add okay, it doesn't look much when you start building it up this way, but once we get into creating the background, you'll see that it all comes together. So that was Mary Merlot. That's a very juicy ink pad I found. And next we're going to be using the grey granite. Let's give that a good inking. Actually, it's quite a good idea to have the paper straight, because with the trees are on a sort of a bit of an angle, but you want to make them look as though they are straight. So and this isn't stamped off this time. So just creating that little Glen there for the deer. Of course, every time you make things like this, they're different every single time. Actually, I'll just keep that out because I have added a couple of trees here. So, oops. Not very good. I'll stamp that off anyway. So this is just the reflection in the water. So I've just stamped it off and popped it there, and then I do have a smaller one as well. Stamp it off. You just try and replicate basically what's above. A lot of this is going to be covered up, so actually before I put that away, I do have a little bit of, I did this in the grey granite as well. That's grey granite that we're using. Oops, that's coming off there. We'll stamp that off as well. Excellent. So the next step is to create the foliage. So I have done the branches in Actually, I might put the deer on next. Give them a good ink. And then I'm just going to pop them in the middle. Now they do come so that they do look dappled, as you can see, but for this card I want them to look quite dark in the background. So I've just used my black alcohol marker and I've just made them quite densely black, just because they are a silhouette. But fantastic dappling if you're just using the brown or something for the deer, but I'm really wanting to make that strong silhouette look there. So that's always good. Actually, I find using the alcohol marker better than the ink pen, because it just seems to go a bit blotchy. The alcohol marker does work a lot better for giving that good solid look. And the tree. Okay. Good inking up. And I want it to sort of come over. And then another one. And same here. And so now I'm just creating these image of branches through here. I know it looks a bit odd at the moment, but when we are finished, you'll see. Okay, that's the last of the stamping for now. Just going to take the mat away. And we will start with our inking. So I started off with Mary Merlot because that's going to be my lightest colour. Now with this you just tap off on your paper and you come in with circular motion. So don't ink up and then like this, otherwise you get a big blob, which of course is not what you want. So it is always, as I've said on other videos, it's always best to start light and to build up. That would be the biggest recommendation I would have, that starting light and building up. And then you just look at each stage and think, oh no, I need a bit more of this, or I need a bit more of that. I'm wanting that to be wanting this part to be quite light, so go down there. There's lots of mediums for adding colour to backgrounds. I'm using, oh gosh, always happens to me when I say the name of something every single time. Now, when I go to say it now for you on the video, it slips my mind. It'll come to me probably as I finish filming. But we've got brayers, which are fantastic. They add a, excuse me, they add a nice, thick, quick colour. And the sponges. I sort of like these because I think they give me more control with a smoother finish. But I think with this sort of thing is you just play and you choose in the end what you like to use. But it does, when you've done a lot of this sort of colouring, I love creating backgrounds, I must admit. When you have done a bit, you will get to like certain ways of doing things for certain creations or effects that you're making. So we're going to build up the colour on this. Now this is now Blackberry Bliss. So once again, we are coming in, stamping off with as I said, this can be for Christmas or birthday. The actual set doesn't come with sentiments, so it is multi-purpose. I just love these scene builder type stamps that you can just use your imagination to create different things. And it's always so fascinating to see what other people see. Everyone sees something different. So, okay. Speed up this next bit for you. So as you can see, I finished off that last bit with black, the Memento Tuxedo Black, just around the edges. So I'll keep that out, the Blackberry Bliss, and I will bring back the Merry Merlot because we will add some blossoms to these trees. Actually, just quickly before I do that, I did use a little bit of this to put a bit of shimmer on. So this is the Frost White. And I am just going to take a very, very small amount. As I think I've said before in previous videos, I upcycle my Wink of Stella pens once they've run out of their glitter. I use them for this sort of thing instead of using my aqua brushes. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of shimmer to the water, just to give it that sort of shimmery, watery look. Just down the bottom there. Great. These are great too if you mix them in with a bit of alcohol and spray on a background, gives that lovely shimmery effect. Okay, so let's grab our blossoms and we will just, so it's very random. There is no, so I'm going to put some Merry Merlot and I'm going to put some Blackberry Bliss, so just sort of spread it out. Just giving that look of the trees not being in their winter. Sorry, the wind's blowing the door. I don't know if that'll pick it up, but quite noisy. Someone has left it open. Okay, so now I'm just adding the Blackberry Bliss just to get a bit more depth. There we go. And you can just put as many as you like, but I just do enough to just create that look of looking through the bush. And then I just added, just give that a good close before it. Some more of the frost white. So it's quite a good idea with this to, when you, I've just got it all over now, but when you want to use it, pouring a little bit in your lid, it just means that you can have a little bit more control over what you pick up. So I'm just going to add some dots on here. Just randomly once again. Okay. Shall I put, no, we'll put a couple down here, I think. Yeah. So let's set that aside just to dry off a little bit. I've got this all over me. All right. Put that over there. Put that over there. These to one side, and I'll get rid of this piece of paper. It's as easy as that. Let's put it all together. Just hope I don't have dirty hands. Okay. I have got a bit of fold this in half. Okay. Now the inside, I have popped a couple of deer on the bottom, and I would do that on the envelope as well. I just like to have something, but you can put a tree with blossoms, or you can pop in there whatever option you want. I just like to always add a little bit of something on the inside of the card. And this time I'll just leave the deer dappled. Okay. So grab my glue, we'll pop that on the inside. A little bit of glue, not too close to the edge. You don't want it squirting out the side as you pop it in. There we go. Okay, let's start putting all these layers on. So this is our Blackberry Bliss piece, and what I have done with this piece is actually pop the ribbon on here. So we'll just add a bit of tape on this and pop the ribbon on. Now the ribbon I've used is this gorgeous black satin ribbon. It's just so soft and beautiful. I've cut this piece out for a bit long. Oops. I'm sure the recipient doesn't want my hair on there. Okay. Add my So I always put the lid on my black ink pad because when I first started stamping I used to leave that, never put the lid on, and always ended up getting stamp ink all over a project I was finishing and having to start all over again. So I definitely learnt the hard way that you cover your ink pad as soon as you have finished, because you are bound to. So I'm just popping that around there. And then I will get, oh, this, goodness me, doesn't want to go. Yep, there we go. And I will get some of our gorgeous black dimensionals. Which are in the Holiday Catalogue. So when you're working on a darker project, absolutely fantastic for keeping that. Okay, and we will pop that on. Sorry, some of the stuff is a bit boring today with dimensionals and whatnot. And now my husband and my son have decided to work in the driveway and talk in loud voices. So I do apologise. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on there. As I said, that has been embossed already with the subtle embossing folder. And we will pop this on. I must have a bit of that stuff on my hands. All right. We will pop this on the small black mat. So just once again a little bit of glue. The putting together actually is the quick part of the card. Just gluing it all down basically. And then this one goes on here. Okay, I've got a bit of the shimmer on there, but that's going to all be covered up in a moment. And then I have glued this onto here. And I have popped this section up on dimensionals on the black piece here. So we will grab our dimensionals again. I've been very organised and I put them back. Okay. So as you can see, the black one's absolutely perfect for this project. They come in the large size and the smaller size. So they come in the pack with the large and the small. So when you order them, they come with both sizes, which is handy. We will just pop that on and just make sure it is centered. Okay, so all I've done now is I'll just cut a piece of ribbon. So these are my scissors that I keep for ribbon cutting. I did find the scissors that I use for card blunted very quickly, and so I got another pair, and what a difference it makes. So I have tried very hard now to keep these scissors just for cutting ribbon to get a nice clean cut. So I'm just feeding that underneath that ribbon there, and I will make a bow. certainly had to learn how to make nice bows once I started doing card making, that's for sure. I certainly wasn't a bow maker prior. So just fiddling with it and getting it then to where you want it. So I'm just going to hold those two now, the tails, while I pull that, and it's about the right size. It's just so gorgeous, this ribbon. And I'll just give it a trim. There we go. Oops. And to finish off, I have done Happy Birthday. Now I have already pre-embossed this. This has been done with the white glimmer embossing powder, the white shimmer embossing powder, with the Happy Birthday from the Itty Bitty Birthdays. Fantastic, I just use this all the time. And this is the white glimmer embossing powder. So I didn't want to do it in one long strip, so I've cut it. Now I find this font so easy just to cut. You just follow the letters along with your scissors and Bob's your uncle, as they say. So these are also up on Dimensionals. So that's Happy Birthday, just like that. So we're nearly there. I will just pop these up. I'll grab the smaller ones, I think, for this. So as I say, there's the smaller ones as well. My little pick tool's way over the other side there, so I am just using my scissors today. Usually I would have my pick tool for these sorts of things, but pointy scissors are pretty good as well. Okay, so I might cut that a bit, but I'm going to put birthday. And happy. Okay. I'll just pop them up. I'll just cut that a bit smaller. There we go. And no card would not be complete without a little bit of bling, of course. So I will just use my Diamantes. I think these are one of the most well used embellishments in my kit. You kind of think, well, what can I put on? And if you don't want something too overwhelming, just subtle, these go with everything. They just add that lovely extra bit, don't they? There we go. So done. As easy as that. So you have a little clearing. I think with the other one, I probably added a bit of grey granite. This is a bit pinker. I think I added some more grey granite. So up to you. You can add more grey in there. But I use more of the Merry Merlot on this one. So either one is fantastic. You just play, have a go, and I'm sure you'll end up with something that you'll be very, very happy with. Please do send me any questions or queries. If you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, please do, and I really look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care. Happy stamping.